hear stories and opinions from people who have experienced the supernatural. Then tune into Supernatural Limits, the podcast that explores the unknown and the unexplained. Every week, we explore encounters with the paranormal, the bizarre, and the unbelievable. Whether a skeptic or a believer, join us on this thrilling journey into the other side of reality.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Supernatural Limits. You're here with Puni Moore.
There you go. I'm here, fellas and ladies.
And Guy So Smooth. And this is episode 3. Well, whyuce, we're about to talk about something today that could be connected into our previous episodes. The last one we talked about the Bible. You get any feedback on that one, bro?
On my end, no.
Yeah,
Not on my end.
We're so new right now that people are just picking it up. But this topic for this episode, it kind of connects into it, it kind of doesn't. Depends on the way you take it. Let's talk about ghosts, bro.
Let's talk about it.
What do we call ghosts in Samoan?
Aiku.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And as always, I like to give everyone, especially the WEFOBZ Nation, some grounding before we go. Let's get this out of the way. Disclaimer, everything expressed here on this podcast is for entertainment and educational purposes only. The views expressed belong to the speakers themselves and do not represent the WeFox Enterprise brand. Yes. Back to the topic at hand, ghosts. Now, before we were talking about the Bible, there was a couple of interesting things we brought up on that last episode, episode 2, about the Bible. Thank you to Brother Puni Moore for sharing some insight from his end on what that was about. You know, the limits to the supernatural do not exist. So I want to carry on into this topic of ghosts. You know, before I start saying stuff, bro, what do you have any questions pertaining to ghosts? Do you have anything you want to know about ghosts?
No. Nope. I only say that because I get scared easily. So it's more of like building or talking myself into not focus on that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to get weirded out. But yeah, nothing right now, bro.
Let me ask you this. Do you think ghosts are real?
That's a good question. Me personally, right off, no. I'm gonna say no from my end. I think yeah, I'm saying that because I haven't witnessed it, you know. But I'm not also trying to be naive about it. That, you know, I mean, I've seen it on television and people talk about it. But as far as for me, with my own naked eye, you know, I'm not able to witness any of that kind of stuff. Especially like in Samoa, you know, the ma'yaiku. I don't know how you say that in English.
Possession.
Possession, right?
Yeah.
So I hear stories about it, but I never witnessed it, or it was in the presence of that.
Good point. Good point. On our episode 1, we I had Rastaman on there, and he was talking about his experiences.
Yeah, I heard of it.
I think he was alluding to ghosts. He called them spirits and stuff. Personally, I've had a couple of encounters with them. I can't say that I've seen them, the actual silhouette and stuff, but I can say that I've had encounters where I've been touched by them, pushed by them. I'm pretty sure I got sick by them.
Man.
I I've seen other people being possessed by them. Mind you, this all happened when I was living on that island you talking about.
Hmm.
I've actually also experienced them out here in Hawaii back in my college days. There was creepy stuff going back then, and you know, a lot of us alluded it or kind of
What
related it to ghosts.
what's that tale story? The one that when you go up, there's a view going up to the mountains that like you go under a tunnel and it's a high up mountain. And I remember visiting there this past summer, and I didn't hear about it, but my cousin was telling us because we were driving just to go on the tour. And as we were going up the hill or the mountain, she mentions like, "Hey, this road right here, I forgot what it's called.
Bro,
You
out
can't.
here in Hawaii, there's a bunch
There's a
of
lot, right?
there's a lot. You can't really place just one. I mean, I could pop off a few, but that'll be
Hmm.
later on. But man, we get way too ahead of ourselves. We didn't even set the foundation for this. Bro, I gotta give the definition, man. When you look up ghosts, so I binged it. What's the definition of ghost? Pronounced ghost. Now, it's an apparition of a dead person which is believed to appear or become manifest to the living, typically as a nebulous image. I think a lot of our experiences with ghosts come from the movies, yeah.
Yeah.
In the filmmaking industry, there a lot of the movies that are made, they base it on personal experiences people had, whether in reality, like in the waking world or in their dreams, and they bring that stuff to life. But that's a whole different story. But yeah, so you're saying you haven't had experience with ghosts. I'm saying I've had experience with ghosts. We just set the definition for what a ghost is. But you know what, Luce? I want to connect it back to episode 2 when we were talking about that Bible. Remember? So I kind of asked in the Bible, is there any mention of ghosts? You want to know what it said?
What?
But this is what it came out with. There are no ghosts. According to the Bible, there are no ghosts wandering about the earth, except for those you might see trick or treating or on Halloween night. What the hell? It goes on to say what people report as being ghosts are actually demons who are known to masquerade themselves in an attempt to fool people. The Bible tells us that a spiritual realm does exist, but it is invisible to human eyes, and it is populated by God, his angels, Satan, Satan's fallen angels, and or demons. That's deep, man.
So they don't describe demons being they don't fall under the category of ghosts. Is that what they're saying?
Well, they said ghost. It's not a ghost. It's a demon.
That's two different things, right?
No, well, this thing being is telling us that the Bible says that when you see a ghost, it's not a ghost. It's a demon.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember that whole belief in your soul moves on to the afterlife to where heaven wants you to be. But that's what being said, man. That's artificial intelligence giving us what they learned from whatever people put up on the internet.
So do you think that that's two different things, a ghost and a demon?
That's a good question. It can't. I believe it's two different things.
Why do you say that? Well, the definition you said it's like a ghost is somebody that passes away.
There's a dead person. It's the image, apparition, or a leftover energy of a dead person. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's what it was trying to say in the definition.
And then a
Apparition.
demon, and then I mean, as for a demon, don't they have a body too? Or
Yeah,
they're just born like that?
You know what? That gets into a good question.
Yeah.
So there was a TV series, Supernatural. You ever watched that TV series?
It rings a bell. It's been a while.
So it's an old TV series, two brothers, right? In
Oh
the
yeah,
TV,
I'm sorry. Yeah, the two studs, the two stud brothers. Yep.
Yep. So in that series, it describes demons as being twisted souls of humans.
Yeah, that's why I was asking, because I'm like, from again, just from according to TV, according to like just storytelling from other folks, it's one of them things, kind of like how you mentioned there's a realm. So if your soul ends up in that realm area, which is in hell, let's just put it easier, make it easier. Then that's where you form into a demon. But if if your soul where you get to make it a heaven, then you become them angels, or what they call, from my own perspective, and that's why I was asking, like, well, what's the difference of a ghost and a demon? I think they're the same, but to each its own.
I think, yeah, you can say maybe they're related levels, power levels, I guess, if you look at it, right? Maybe a ghost can't do much, but a demon, like, it's got this whole negative energy thing surrounding it that it could do more harm than a ghost would ever do. I mean,
it all depends on your belief, right? Because if you go like to India, what is their thing? It's you pass away, then you be reformed, right?
reborn,
Reborn, but you come into a different character, a different person. You're no longer in that same body. Then you come in Christianity, depending which Christianity is. Some say that when you pass away, you're actually sleeping until Jesus comes, and then the ones that are chosen to go to heaven all goes up, be lifted up. So what I'm getting at is, like, that's why I see a lot of movies. I think they're based off of their own, belief in religion and how they go about it. And that's why you see difference. That's why you see different, like, ghost movies. You see different, like, demon movies. There's so many out there, which is interesting. But yeah, that's where I'm at.
You're talking about realms, like realms meaning where the ghost coming from.
Yeah, like what I'm referring to is, like,
because okay, so you already brought up two of the realms. You said hell, and you said heaven.
Yes.
And then we're missing earth, where the ghosts are on earth. But I think there's another one that always gets brought up, and we may need to look more into it. Purgatory. You ever heard of purgatory?
Purgatory. Refresh my mind. Yes, I have, but
let me look up the definition for
purgatory.
So this is from the Roman Catholic doctrine, the Roman Catholic teaching: a place or state of suffering inhabited by the souls of sinners who are expiating their sins before going to heaven. So purgatory is this place between heaven and hell where your spirit goes to try to transform itself before it can, to try to cleanse itself before it can get to heaven.
So in other words, it's kind of like God's way of giving you a second chance, like another opportunity to enter the gates of heaven.
Yeah, and I think, in that sense, that Roman Catholic belief is like, that's where all the ghosts be coming from. They be stuck in purgatory, waiting for that judgment.
That then leads back to the book of Revelations, because you ever watch those Raptures movies in the late 90s? Dude, there's one creepy song, dude. It's like, you have left behind. I'm like, oh shit, that used to give me like the creeps, dude. And what it is basically, right, like, let's just say the whole movie is the rapture did come. It came, and then it descended those that are chosen to go to heaven. And then everybody that wasn't able to go to heaven, they're still alive in the earth that we are. So it's kind of like apocalypse that's going on.
Apocalypse.
Yep. That's going on right now. And in order for you to make it a heaven, dude, it's kind of cruel. It's like you got to get your head chopped off and don't have that 666 mark on your body. And I'm just like,
Mark of
dude,
the
that's
Beast. What the hell?
yeah,
It's a
dude.
movie. It's a
It's a
movie.
movie. Yeah, old school movies, man. So it's like everybody that was a 666, that they marked themselves, that 666, then they're able to live their normal life, right? But then it painted a picture of like the different scenarios. You have a family, husband and wife, and you have, just different characters in the world. And then, like, let's say a husband and wife, and then their kid got taken, or a wife got taken, but the husband's left behind. So it's all these group of people trying to get together because they still believe in, like, oh, God's alive, but then now they got to go in hiding. And a lot of the people that decide, like, nah, this is it, we're going to take the mark of the beast. They end up being, it's crazy, dude. I'm like, shoot.
That movie's heavy, bro, just by you explaining it. And it's back in the 90s, you said they released it?
The late 90s, yep. Yeah, it's good. There's a lot of those movies back then. It was the Rapture. I believe it was called the Rapture, But then that's why I was asking, going back on like ghost and demons. I feel like they're both the same thing, let me try to clarify what I'm saying is, like I said, if you are if it's that kind of religion where your soul is still on earth, it doesn't automatically go to its final destination, whether it's up or down, that's the soul that like eventually turns into a demon, depending on, if you choose that route,
So what happens then? Then what happens if you don't choose that route? If you're trying to get to heaven, right?
Then you become like you're fighting those demons because your spirit's still roaming the earth, and you're just trying to do the good things. Man, what is that movie that it's on Netflix? It's the one where that's a good one. That's a perfect example where like you got I think he was like a cop or a sheriff, because there's a part 1 and a part 2.
There's a bunch of them, bro.
Yeah, but there's a recent one, man. I gotta remember the name, where when he got shot, he got killed, right? Automatically got killed. And then his spirit, exactly what I'm talking about, that's exactly what the movie is. And then his job was, I think he was like a cop or something, one of those detectives. The long story short, his partner is the one that actually set him up and killed him. Then his partner, because of greed, that kind of plot. But what I'm getting to is like the afterlife. So he makes it up to like not the in between, the one you're talking about, like the Catholic.
Purgatory.
Yeah. But it's like an agency. So it's like, he's like, why am I here? They're like, well, you have a chance to either go up or go down. So that he's like, but you can redeem yourself if you can go there and help fight the demons. And she's like, what are the demons? It's basically people like us who decides to go the other route, their bodies then their soul, their bodies start turning into demons, like monster looking people.
And that's why I brought up, because you said the demon and the ghost are the same, but that's why I also said maybe there are levels to it. Like, so let's just say your soul is this energy, right? Let's try to combine stupid science and freaking all this supernatural. Let's go to the supernatural limits. So your soul is energy, but then your energy could go either negative or it could go positive. And a lot of us we will definitely want to get on that positive side, right?
Of course.
But then it tells us that there's some stuff that holds us to the negative. So maybe, okay, mind you, WEFOBZ Nation, we are not professionals or experts of any kind on this type of topic, but we're trying to scratch that itch, that curiosity itch, based on what we're talking about. And what we talk about is ghosts. And bring it back to what I said. Maybe, what if, like, after you pass on, your energy's trying to figure out which way it's going to get pulled, but then when it gets stuck at a certain moment, then that's when you're like coming out as a ghost. But then if you get more pulled towards that negative side, then you become that demon, right?
Yes.
But then if you get pulled more towards the positive side, then you become an angel, which a lot of people kind of tend to believe. So ghost would be the middle line. If that's the case, and then they would say like ghosts are always there because of unfinished business.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
And the unfinished business is the thing keeping them from being pulled either negative or positive because there's no end to the story that happened. But then there's the thought that the ghosts, because of that unfinished business, and they're trying to relive that thing over and over, or that energy is taking part in that event over and over. Sometimes the energy starts getting angry, and then it starts going towards the more negative side. That's when it becomes good. I'm just throwing shit out there, bro.
You good, bro? I'm trying to find
Ghosts,
that movie. Explains
man.
exactly what I was talking about.
Well, let's put it out to the WEFOBZ nation. You had any experience with ghosts? What do you say ghosts are? Where do they come from? What do they become? Are ghosts real? Are they demons? Are they levels before being a demon or before being an angel? Do ghosts come from purgatory? You know what to do, WeFound Nation. Open up that comment section, comment down below, tell us what it is. Man, Puni Boy, you got anything else on ghosts?
Yeah, man. I just want to tell the story. Like I want to share that story because that freaked the crap out of me, bro. Like it shook me, man.
You
Trying
want
to
to get
paint.
that movie title?
No, not the movie title. I'm talking about my trip to Hawaii.
Oh,
Yeah. So I mean, imagine this, bro. I mean, it's me, my wife, and my two cousins. And you know how it's Hawaii, bro. I mean, especially us, visitors,
wait,
bumping
so
that
you did
island
have an
vibe.
experience with ghosts?
No. I'm getting to it, bro.
Go
So
ahead.
she's taking us on a tour guide. So we hit up the whole island and stuff like that. Then we go up to this mountain, and all I remember, it's a tunnel that you go through. And then in order to get up to that view spot, dude, there's not even a warning sign, bro. There's like what is it, 55, the speed limit? Like
Uh-huh.
if you don't know that cutoff, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna miss it. So she's like, right here, turn right here. So I have to like slam my brake, turn in, and it goes uphill more. And then as we're going uphill more, she says something like, hey, oh my gosh, we gotta be careful. I forgot what the name of the ghost lady was. She's like, if you see a lady or anybody, an individual walking on that street, you know what I'm saying? Do not say hi, do not say, just keep driving. Keep going looking straight. Do not look back. And if they happen to ride that ghost happens to be in your car, you got to ask them, hey, how you doing? Where do you want me to drop you off at? I'm just like, what the heck? Dude, it shook the crap out of me, my wife, and my cousin. Because we were the ones from out of town. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, can you call? Yeah, you gotta. I think I'm gonna look
Listeners,
around for that.
listeners from Hawaii, you guys know what I'm talking about.
I'm
I
gonna
forgot
look
what that
around for that
mountain
story.
is, bro.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna look
it's
around for you, and then the next time we bring it
woo,
back,
that
we're gonna
shit
finish this.
screw me.
Yeah, we need to talk about that because once again, man, ghost stories are like, man, when you talk about ghosts, then you're talking about like stories. Okay, they said of dead people, it's apparitions of dead people. What happened to the dead people? Because they were alive once, right?
Yeah,
And they had a life story that they were trying to complete, but I guess it didn't complete. Something happened, stopped them.
yeah, and then also respecting the if you're outsiders, right, and you're just visiting a place, it's important to respect the culture, right? Because
Yeah,
especially the land, because you know how people they be disrespectful and stuff, and then all of a sudden they come missing,
yeah, yeah,
stuff like that, man. That stuff freaks me out.
bro. That's hell yeah.
That's what I'm
Let's
saying. That's what I'm saying.
let's bring it back, WeFoBZ Nation, on our next Supernatural Limits episode. This is episode 3. We talking about ghosts, but we're gonna go and find out about that. I live on the island he's talking about, so I'm gonna go find out, and I'm gonna bring it back for everyone to listen to what that story is about. Maybe we'll have more ghost stories going into the future. We always could bring it back to a segment like that. What you think,
Mhm.
Goose?
Yeah, and I'm gonna hit up my cousin, and I'll tag you the ghost that the
But
story of
that,
that.
yeah, that's
Yep.
man, that's trippy.
That way you can
man.
post it to our listeners. Because I mean, that's crazy. You're in Hawaii, you don't even know about that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I wasn't even trying to look at it yet until we started this. Right?
Well, I
Now
mean,
we just-
you're a local, man. You're supposed to know all the history of Hawaii, man.
True. I actually know, like I said, there's a couple of them. But then if it's the one that I'm thinking, I want to make sure that it's the right one. Let's bring
Yeah.
it back for them, man. Anyways, any closing thoughts?
Nah, man. just the first episode, dude. When Rastaman brought up where's he from again? Man, I'm sorry. Trinidad. It's like it's part of the culture. You know what I'm saying?
It's part of their culture, just
Yeah,
like
so
us,
it's more
man.
just like us.
I think you know what we can speak to. Let's speak more. We're gonna continue this on the next episodes.
Yeah, man.
'Cause-
Talk about our Samoan side. Like
Yeah.
what we experience.
That's what we're talking about, man. Any shout outs before we start closing it out?
Just shout out to you and the listeners. Thank you for tuning in, and to WEFOBZ.
That's right, WEFOBZ Nation. This has been Puni Moore. This has been Guy So Smooth. We just talked about ghosts, and we look like we're going to continue this topic on our next episodes. So look forward to it on our next Supernatural Limits. We out.